Hi, I'm Daniel Eldridge and welcome to Chemistry, Building Blocks of the World. We're going to go on quite a journey. We're going to look at 4 different modules together. In the first module, we're going to have a look at matter. And we're going to look at the atoms, the building blocks of everything that's around us, describe them in a lot more detail. We're also going to have a look at our periodic table and how the atoms fit into it. In the second module, we're then going to look at how we can take these atoms and join them together to make compounds, to make new and exciting materials that we make use of all the time in our lives. In the third module, we're then going to have a bit of education and a bit of fun as we have a look at some chemical reactions, the way these different types of matter interact with one another to make new materials and undergo quite interesting changes. Then in our fourth and final module, we're going to put on a different pair of glasses and we're going to look at the world in a whole new way, in particular the way that we quantify matter. Once we've figured out this new way of quantifying the world, we're going to tie that in with our previous work in our chemical reactions, going to make some very powerful predictions about the things that we see. So that's the subject in general. Right throughout this subject, through all 4 modules, we are going to need to make use of a periodic table. Now I've created one and provided it for you here. You can fetch a copy from the additional resources, download it, print it, save it to your desktop, but make sure you've got it handy. We're going to be using it all the time. You will also, from time to time, need to make use of a calculator. We're not doing anything too scary, nothing too high-end, so you don't need anything sophisticated. The calculators I've got on screen here are more than enough. As long as they have the capability to do scientific notation, you'll be fine. Your computer calculator, even your mobile phone calculator, will probably be up to scratch if you don't have one of these. In our first module, a bit of an overview of what we're going to get into. We're going to start by defining matter, all of the materials around us. We're then going to have a much closer look at atoms, these building blocks that make up all of the different types of matter. Once we've characterized and discussed how these atoms are assembled, we're going to look at how they fit into our periodic table, how they're arranged, and some of the hidden information that we can find in this periodic table. So let's make a nice gentle start in this topic. Let's start by classifying matter. Look around you, all of the different materials that you can see are made up of matter. Matter itself is made up of tiny, tiny little building blocks called atoms. We're going to spend a lot more time talking about these building blocks, these atoms soon, but for now I want to talk about matter. Again, everything around you is made up of matter. What is matter? Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Mass, as you'd know from your day-to-day experience, is just a convenient measure of the quantity, the amount of a substance that you have. So everything is matter. Examples? Here we are, beautiful day at the waterfalls. The water running over the falls, the trees, the rocks, everything you can see there, all made up of matter. Funny looking guy at the waterfalls, he's made of matter too. Tubby looking cat rolling around on the grass, that tubby cat, matter. The grass around him, her, matter. Stormtrooper rocking a guitar, matter. Every planet in the solar system, everything you can think of is made up of matter. These tiny little building blocks, the atoms that make it up. When we're communicating chemist to chemist, we generally classify matter as being one of 3 states. In the first state, our atoms, our building blocks, are quite closely packed together and they are rigidly held in place with respect to one another. This state of matter is referred to as a solid. In our second state of matter, our building blocks are still nice and close together, but now they've got a bit more freedom of movement. They're free to slide and maneuver over one another. This state of matter is a liquid. In our third and final state of matter, I think you know where we're headed here, our atoms, our building blocks are now separated from one another and they're free to move around in any and every direction within the space they're contained. This state of matter is called a gas. You may hear people say, what about the fourth state of matter? What about plasma? Don't get concerned about that. Plasma is merely a small modification of gas. As far as you and I are concerned, there are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. We'll leave it there for this topic. Head on down to the discussion forums. They're up and running now. Say hi to your peers. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the next topic when we discuss more about the nature of matter.